Right here, I have a lighter. This fire that you see, if I were to put my hand on this fire for an extended period of time, it would burn my hand. The fire cannot burn itself. The fire can burn me. The fire can burn this camera. The fire can burn my phone. It can burn a lot of different things, but fire cannot burn itself. Right here, I have a gallon of water, a water jug. If I were to pour this water on myself right now, I would get wet. If I were to pour this on my camera or on my phone, they would get wet. But this water in and of itself can never get wet because it is a property of its existence at the level of its consciousness. In the same way, you can never truly be self-aware. Now, what do I mean by that? I always talk about self-awareness, but self-awareness in the context of escaping the matrix is not what you think it is. I'm about to shift your entire paradigm on this life. I've already talked about some of the aspects of the external matrix and how you can unplug yourself from the external matrix, but now I'm going to teach you how to make yourself immune to the external matrix. The only way that you can make yourself immune from the external matrix is to transcend the level of consciousness at which the programming occurs, at which the conditioning occurs. And how do you go about doing that? We're going to go ahead and do a little interactive exercise, and I need each and every one of you to participate. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to take 3 deep breaths. I'll take them with you. Keep your eyes closed. Keep your eyes closed and relax. Relax into the darkness. Relax into the silence. Now, I want you to ask yourself in your internal dialogue, I wonder what my next thought is going to be. Now, the thought that just popped up, okay, for most of you, no thought popped up. But for maybe a few of you, maybe you asked, why is he having me do this? This is stupid. Okay, I should click off of this video. Nevertheless, the thought or the lack thereof, the awareness of that is what enables you to transcend this level of consciousness. In the same way that this fire cannot burn itself, your ego cannot be aware of itself. Now, a lot of you guys have learned to identify with your egos. Now, what is your ego? Your ego is a conditioned bundle of thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and behavioral patterns, which are the projection of the other 3 aspects of your ego. To become aware of these things, to develop that self-awareness, is to understand that they are not you. Because if you are able to witness your thoughts, if you're able to witness your feelings or your beliefs or your behavioral patterns from that external perspective, then who are you? Because you're clearly not them. And a lot of you guys are so heavily identified with those things that you never stop to ask yourself who you really are. When you die, when the body dies, where do you go? What are you? Your energy. You are pure, unadulterated consciousness at your core. That is your essence. That is the essence of your being. And that understanding right there frees you from the matrix. It makes you immune to the external matrix because, like I said, they can only program you, no matter what they throw your way, they can only program you if your level of awareness is stuck at the level of the ego. If your level of consciousness is stagnant at the level of the ego, at the level of your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, and your actions. To take your awareness beyond that level by simply doing that exercise that I showed you guys earlier in this video is to free yourself from the level of consciousness that is susceptible to external programming. And from there, you can reclaim your power and begin to live your life from that new frame of reference, that new paradigm. Because now you understand who you truly are. Now understand that that level that you achieved there's a level beyond that as well. That level is what is known as the silent witness or the observer by many. But there are levels beyond that as well. I'm going to give you guys another little visual exercise for anybody who's more of a visual thinker like myself. I want you to close your eyes and imagine yourself watching your life on a TV. Everything that you see, everything that you perceive with your sensory perceptions, you watching this video right now, I want you to envision yourself watching your entire life on a TV screen. Who are you? You are not the movie. You are not the film that you see on the TV. You are the person watching it. You're the witness. You're the observer. Now I want you to expand beyond even that. And I want you to visualize yourself in third person watching your life on a TV screen. Take your awareness behind yourself, behind that silent witness. And imagine that silent witness watching your life, your physical reality on TV. You can keep doing this into perpetuity because your consciousness is infinite. There are infinite levels all the way up until you reach ego death, which is why I titled this book Ego Death. It's about my experience transcending the level of my consciousness over and over and over again until I reached a point where I became enlightened, even if just for a moment. That's all it takes, because life is all contained within this one single moment. Now, you have to understand that this present moment is the access point to awareness, to that next level of consciousness. You can only ever access the level of consciousness that is beyond the level of conditioning, that is not susceptible to programming or conditioning by the external matrix, by being present. If you notice, a lot of the external matrix is meant to take you out of the present moment, especially the news. If you notice, the news always keeps you in a state of anticipation, a state of fear, a state of hope even. Hope can't exist without fear. Now, I'm not saying that hope is inherently bad, but what you have to understand is that if you're in the present moment, you have nothing to be hopeful for. You don't need hope anymore because you know that you are full and whole and complete in the present moment. You have everything you'll ever need right here, right now. Think about music, especially trap music. A lot of the sentiments that trap music propagates through the melodic beats and the lyrics that push this narrative of promiscuity, casual sex, hookup culture. They tell you that your awareness, your fulfillment lies on the other side of promiscuity, on the other side of materialism. I was once a very big proponent of materialism, as you guys may or may not know. And what I've learned is that those things are all facades, because this entire reality, everything that you see on that TV screen is just that. It's a movie. And just like any other movie, at some point it's going to end and you'll play a different film. But the silent witness will still be there. The observer will still be there. And that is your true self. You have to understand that you are the observer and you are the level of consciousness beyond that and beyond that and beyond that. And you can keep peeling back these layers until you reach that level where you realize that you're everything and you're also nothing. Because the only way that you can be something is for nothing to exist. But non-existence doesn't exist. Close your eyes and try to conceive of non-existence in your mind right now. You can't. It's not possible. Imagine being blind if you're not a blind person watching this. Well, not watching this, but you get my point. If you're not blind, I want you to imagine being blind. What a lot of people think of is they simply close their eyes and assume that that's what blind people see. But it's not, because the darkness that you perceive only exists relative to the light that you perceive. Blind people don't see that darkness because they don't see the light. They see nothing. What do you see out of the back of your head? You see nothing. It's not dark. You don't see black out of the back of your head. You see nothing. You don't perceive anything. A lot of people are blinded to their true selves. They're blinded to who they truly are. They don't give themselves permission to transcend the level of consciousness that they're currently at. And because of that, they fall into these patterns, like I said, these behavioral patterns that perpetuate their thoughts, their feelings, and their beliefs, the vast majority of which are conditioning based. This is how they get you. This is how they get you. This is how they imprison you, enslave you at the subconscious level. They take control of your subconscious mind, but they can only do that if that's where you reside. You have to transcend your subconscious mind. There's the flame, and then there's the observer of the flame. This flame can act upon me. I can act upon it. I can blow the flame out because I'm at a level of consciousness where I am outside of the flame, where I can act upon the flame because I am not the flame. The flame cannot act upon itself. And in the same way, the ego cannot act upon itself. You cannot transcend the matrix. You cannot transcend the ego from the level of the ego. This is something that I learned when dealing with my twin flame situation, which I outlined not only in this book right here, but also in Soul Shock, my first book, was that you can't approach a spiritual matter from the level of the mind and expect to receive any reasonable or impactful results. You have to approach it from the level of where it exists or the level beyond that. You can't approach the problem from the level of the problem. You have to approach it from the level of the solution, which will always be above the level of the problem. I'm saying all of this to say that you are not your ego. You are not your conditioning. I always thought that I was a materialistic person. I thought that I needed all of these things and that I came into this life to achieve that. I came into this life to transcend that, to transcend those desires and realize that I'm already wealthy. I'm rich with life. All of the other stuff is just smoke and mirrors. It prevents you from seeing who you truly are.